My fiance went on a girls' night, then butt dialed me while she was trashing my proposal to another guy. I listened for 10 minutes. I didn't interrupt. I just texted her friend in the same group, put her on speakerphone for me. The sudden silence on the other end was golden. She came home to a packed suitcase on the porch. There's a kind of silence that's louder than any noise. I learned that tonight. It's the silence you hear in the moments after you realize the life you've been building is a complete lie. I'm sitting in my workshop right now. The smell of sawdust and wood stain usually calms me down, but tonight it's doing nothing. My phone is on the workbench in front of me, dark and quiet. An hour ago, it was a live microphone, piping in the audio of my own character assassination, broadcast directly from the woman I asked to be my wife. I'm a luthier. I build and repair guitars. It's a quiet, patient craft, and I love it. It's not a job that makes you rich, but I make a good living, and I've built a life I'm proud of. My fiancée Jenna, 29F, and I, 31M, have been together for 4 years. I thought we were happy. Last month, after months of planning and saving, I proposed. I did it at the local botanical gardens, in a beautiful, secluded gazebo surrounded by flowers, a place she told me was her favorite spot in the city. The ring wasn't a massive diamond from a chain store. I spent months searching for the right stone, a moss agate with intricate green filaments that looked like a tiny, trapped forest. I designed the setting myself and had a friend, a master goldsmith, bring it to life. It was personal, it was thoughtful, it was us. Or so I thought. She said yes. She cried. She posted 100 pictures of the ring, calling it so unique and so me. Our families were thrilled. We started planning the wedding. Everything seemed perfect. But I started noticing things, little things. Her best friend, Chloe, is married to a guy named Alex. Alex is a finance guy, loud, flashy, loves talking about his stock portfolio and his new BMW. He's not a bad guy, just a lot. And Jenna started talking about him, a lot. About the trips he and Chloe took. About the expensive restaurants they went to. About how driven he was. Last week she was looking at a wedding venue online, a place Alex had recommended. It was ridiculously expensive. I gently told her it was way out of our budget. She got this look on her face, a mix of frustration and pity. Alex would make it work for Chloe, she said quietly. It was a throwaway line, but it felt like a punch to the gut. Tonight, she went out for a girls' night, with Chloe and a couple of other friends. Around 10 p.m. my phone rang. It was Jenna. I answered, expecting to hear her tipsy and happy on her way home, but all I heard was the muffled sound of a bar. Music, chatter, clinking glasses. She'd butt dialed me. I was about to hang up when I heard her voice, clear as day. I just had to smile and pretend it was the most magical moment of my life, she was saying. My blood went cold. Oh my God, he didn't. Another voice, Chloe's, said with fake sympathy. He did, Jenna said, and I could hear the mocking tone in her voice. A gazebo, like some kind of fairy tale for poor people. And the ring, Chloe? God, it's a rock with stuff growing in it. He probably dug it out of the backyard. The laughter was sharp and cruel. Then I heard a man's voice, deep and familiar. It was Alex. So much for a girls' night. Come on, be nice, Alex said, but he was laughing too. The guy builds wooden boxes for a living. What did you expect? A Tiffany setting. I expected something that didn't look like it came from a hippie craft fair. Jenna shot back. I mean, how am I supposed to show this off? It's embarrassing. Alex, your proposal to Chloe was iconic. The private suite at the hotel, the champagne, the Cartier, that's a real proposal. This was just sweet and pathetic. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just sat there in my quiet workshop, listening to the woman I loved tear me to shreds to impress another man. She wasn't just complaining to her friend, she was performing for him. She was positioning herself as someone who deserved his kind of life, not mine. The conversation went on. For 10 minutes, I listened as she mocked my job, my house, my car, my life. Every word was a tiny, sharp blade. The anger came, but it was a cold, quiet anger, a luthier's anger. The kind that knows you can't fix something broken by smashing it. You have to carefully, precisely take it apart. I didn't hang up. I didn't interrupt. I unlocked my phone, went to my messages, and found Chloe's number. My thumbs were steady as I typed out a single sentence. Hey Chloe, Jenna butt dialed me. I can hear everything. Do me a favor and put her on speakerphone for me. I hit send. and then I just held my own phone to my ear, and I listened. Update. The moments after I sent that text were the most surreal of my life. I was still on the live, accidental call with Jenna. I could hear her in mid-sentence, still complaining. "And he wants to have a vegetable garden," she was saying, her voice dripping with disdain. "Like we're some kind of pioneers. I swear, Alex, sometimes I feel like I'm dating a lumberjack who—" Her voice cut off abruptly. I heard a sharp gasp, then the muffled sound of a phone being fumbled. It was Chloe. I could picture the scene perfectly. Her eyes going wide as she read my text, her hand flying to her mouth. Then I heard Chloe's panicked whisper. "Jenna, shut up, just shut up." "What? Why?" Jenna asked, annoyed. There was a rustle, then Chloe's voice shaky and distant. "He's on the phone. He's been on the phone. He just texted me. He said he can hear everything." What followed was the silence. The beautiful, golden, deafening silence I mentioned. It was absolute. The background noise of the bar was still there. The music was still playing, but the conversation at their table had died a sudden, violent death. I could feel their panic through the phone. It was a palpable thing. After about 15 seconds of this glorious, perfect silence, the call ended. They hung up on me. I sat there in my workshop for a long time. The anger had burned away, leaving behind a cold, hard certainty. The woman I had proposed to didn't exist. She was a character Jenna was playing for me. The real Jenna was the one I'd heard on the phone. The one who saw my life, my work, and my love as pathetic and embarrassing. I didn't text her. I didn't call her. I just got to work. I went into the house and found a suitcase. I walked into our bedroom and began to pack. I was methodical. I packed her clothes, the ones I'd bought her for her birthday last year. I packed the expensive face creams she loved, the ones she always complained were running out. I packed the shoes she'd worn on our first real date. I packed the framed photo of us from the night I proposed, the one where she was smiling, a perfect, beautiful lie. I didn't pack everything, just enough for a few days. A clear message. I zipped up the suitcase, carried it downstairs, and placed it on the front porch, right under the light. Then I went back inside and found the ring box. I opened it and looked at the moss agate ring. It was still beautiful. It wasn't the ring that was the problem. I closed the box and put it on the kitchen table, next to her car keys. I spent the rest of the night in my workshop, sanding down a piece of maple for a new guitar body. The steady, repetitive work was a comfort. I didn't know when she would be home, but I knew what would be waiting for her when she got there. Update 2. She got home around 2 a.m. I heard her Uber pull away. I watched from my workshop window as she walked up the path. She saw the suitcase on the porch. She stopped dead in her tracks. She stood there for a full minute, just staring at it, a dark silhouette under the porch light. She didn't try to come in. Her tea was on the table, but she must have known. Instead, my phone started buzzing. A storm of texts. "What is this? Why is my stuff on the porch?" "This isn't funny, Mark. Let me in." "Are you seriously doing this because of a stupid phone call? I was just venting." I didn't reply. Then came the phone calls. I let them go to voicemail. I have a whole collection of them now. They start angry, then shift to panicked, then to tearful. The next morning, Chloe called me. Her voice was cautious. "Mark, Jenna is a mess. She's at my place. I think you're really overreacting here. People say stupid things when they're drinking." "Was Alex drinking when he called me a lumberjack who builds wooden boxes?" I asked quietly. Silence. "Was Jenna drinking when she said my proposal was for poor people?" I continued. "Was she drinking when she called the ring I designed for her pathetic? Because it didn't sound like venting, Chloe. It sounded like her real voice, the one she uses when I'm not around." "She loves you," Chloe insisted, but her voice lacked conviction. "No, she doesn't," I said. "She loves the idea of being engaged. She loves the idea of a wedding. But she doesn't respect me. And love without respect is just decoration. You were there. You heard her. You tell me, Chloe, if you heard Alex talking about you like that, what would you do?" She didn't have an answer. I told her that Jenna could arrange a time to come get the rest of her things, but that she was not to come alone. She chose to come with Alex. A bold move. They showed up on Saturday afternoon. Alex, trying to project an air of authority, started with, "Look, man, I think we all just got off on the wrong foot." I cut him off. "You and I are not on any foot, Alex. You are here to help her move boxes. That's it. Don't speak to me." He was taken aback, but he shut up. I stood in the doorway while they made trip after trip, loading her life into the back of his BMW. Jenna tried to talk to me, tried to cry, tried to apologize. I just stood there, silent, shaking my head. As they were loading the last box, she turned to me, her face streaked with tears. "It was just one night. You're throwing away 4 years over one stupid night." "No, Jenna," I said, and my voice was calm and final. "I'm throwing away one night of lies to save myself from a lifetime of them. That phone call was a gift. It let me see the truth. You don't want me. You want to be Chloe. You want his life, not ours." I pointed at Alex. "Go, be with the man you respect. This house is for someone who respects the man who built it." I closed the door, leaving them standing on my lawn. It was finally, truly quiet. Final update. It's been 6 months. The silence that started that night has become a peaceful new normal. The fallout was predictable. Jenna and Alex are not together. Of course not. That was never the point. She wasn't in love with him. She was in love with his status. And Alex, as it turns out, is very much in love with his wife and the comfortable life she helps provide. Chloe, the friend who put her on speakerphone, apparently felt so guilty and caught in the middle that she distanced herself from Jenna. The friend group fractured. Jenna, from what I've heard through the grapevine, is living in a small apartment across town. She tried to spin a story about me being a controlling, jealous monster, but it didn't stick. Too many people knew about the girls' night that included Alex. Too many people had heard her complain about my job and my life. The truth had too many witnesses. I took the moss agate ring back to my goldsmith friend. I told him the story. He took the stone out of its setting, melted down the gold, and we redesigned it. It's a simple, elegant signet ring now, with a tiny, detailed engraving of a guitar on its face. It's just for me. A reminder that the value of something isn't in its price tag, but in the honesty of its craft. Last month, a woman came into my shop. She had an old, battered acoustic guitar that had belonged to her grandfather. She wanted to see if it could be restored. We spent an hour talking about the wood, the sound, the history. She didn't ask me what I did for a living. She was watching me do it. She didn't care what kind of car I drove. She just loved the passion I had for my work. Her name is Sarah. We've been out a few times. It's slow, it's quiet, and it's honest. The butt dial wasn't a curse. It was a gift. It was a backstage pass to the real show. Jenna was right. She was performing. She just didn't realize the person she was trying to fool was herself. I didn't need to yell or scream or get revenge in some grand way. All I had to do was listen. And then I just had to make sure she knew I was listening. The silence did the rest.